solve this riddle. You have said a number of times here, just in the last 48 hours of doing sports radio together, that what you love right now, the Warriors are playing very well, right?
Playing pretty good.
This is the Warrior basketball that you want to see. This is the Warrior basketball that can take them into a playoff run.
At the right time.
Okay? It's all happening without Jonathan Kuminga. Please explain.
Well, I think they've been playing well for a long time. I know they've won 5 in a row. They went 4-1 on the trip. Mm-hmm. But I think they've been playing decent basketball for a long time. What are they, 22-10 in their last 32 since they had that heartbreaking loss? Was it to the Lakers in double overtime when Steph ripped his jersey? I believe I saw something where they're 23-10 since then. Something like that. The double overtime loss, they were 19-24 at the time. They are now 41-34, so that is accurate. Okay.
22-10.
Cool. I just pulled some numbers out of you-know-where and
look at that.
Nailed it.
Look at you.
So they've been playing well for a while.
Yeah.
I think they're playing even better right now because of Draymond, because of Podziemski, because of Wiggins asserting himself and being aggressive.
Okay. Why do you think Wiggins is asserting himself and being aggressive?
Well, you're going to blame this on Kuminga?
I'm not blaming. There's no blame here. There's no blame.
I love BJK. He might be my favorite player besides Pods.
I know that he is.
Steph doesn't count.
That's why I'm pinning you into a corner right now.
I know. I don't know if I like this.
Because you love JK and you love the 5-game winning streak, and you've got to pick one. Pick one. Which one do you love more?
I don't think it's because Kuminga's out, if that's what you're alluding to.
No, that's not what I'm alluding to. What I'm alluding to...
I think Draymond's picked up the slack.
Okay.
I think they've all picked up the slack, and I think they're used to guys missing when Wiggins was out. They're used to that. They're playing great right now as a team.
It's possible that their most impressive win in this 5-game win streak happened when Draymond wasn't even on the floor.
Right. I would say last night was their most impressive win. I'll push back a little there.
Well, I would argue that on the road against the 5 seed in the East might be a little bit more impressive than at home against the 5 seed in the West.
It was a back-to-back as well.
Yeah, second half of a back-to-back.
All right, 1-0 you on that. But I just think the focus that sometimes Draymond can play aggressive and out of control. Where you're like, what is he doing? Why did he make that pass? What is he thinking fouling right there with 1 second? What is he doing? So you're playing aggressive, you're bringing your A game, but you're not making the right decisions and maybe trying too hard. Whatever he's done at halftime of the San Antonio Spurs game, all that half and last night, it looks like a more focused and aggressive nature that's conducive to helping his team win than just going out there all willy-nilly, playing hard and screaming at refs.
Okay.
It looks like a more focused Draymond Green.
Okay.
So he's picked up that Kuminga slack, whatever you want to talk about. Wiggins is playing well. I don't think it's an either-or thing. I think if Kuminga comes back, they still play great.
Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out. Because, again, there's no blame here. Here's the question that I want to get an answer to, and yeah, you can't really give it to me.
I'm gonna try.
Well,
I'll make something up too.
You can give a prediction, but time will tell. We'll see. Does Andrew Wiggins look like this because Jonathan Kuminga's out? Is that why he looks like this right now?
No, but he looks like this because Chris Paul is telling him in the warm-up line to
dapping him up.
Be aggressive.
Yeah, B-E aggressive.
AGGRESSIVE aggressive.
Yeah, so fair question. I can't definitively tell you that this is why, but it does lead to a current question and an off-season question, which is if you do end up feeling like Kuminga and Wiggins, both being centerpieces of whatever you're trying to do, leads to a lesser version of both of them, wouldn't you rather get the highest version of one of them?
Yeah, the 21-year-old.
Okay. So, the other guy is 29.
That's old in basketball.
He's not old.
I'm kidding.
I mean, right?
But I'll take the upside of a 21-year-old that has improved more in the course of one season, that's a high flyer, that has a decent jump shot, that has so much potential. He plays downhill and is learning all the defensive things and when to cut and where to cut. And we'll ask Steve about that today. The one thing I do want to ask Steve, and remind me,
okay,
I'll write it down.
Write it down.
I want to know what happened at halftime in San Antonio.
Ask him.
I want to know. And I don't know if he'll share that.
He'll be like finger foods. You're right.
No, I want to know.
Had some ham with those little mini croissant ham sandwiches.
It's just like, I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of Red Bulls flowing around.
No.
Or maybe more.
I think that this is not, there's no blame, and at this moment there's no right or wrong answer, but this is I think fair. If we're going to spend all year going, who is Steph Curry's two? Here's how I'd answer it today. Clay has aged out of being the two. Jonathan's not ready yet. Andrew's not consistent enough yet. Those are your three candidates, correct? All right. The closest thing the Warriors have to a two is Andrew when he plays right. That's the second best player on the Warriors. He's just only there half the time. So while I totally understand your thought process, it's kind of like if you got to choose, I'm choosing the 21-year-old. I totally get it, but that's also a speculative buy.
I got 8 years till he's 29, and Wiggins is already 29.
But if I could,
8 years.
Right? But he may never end up with the full skill set that an engaged Andrew Wiggins has. You just don't know that you're going to get it every night.
I'll just go by body alone, and I'll take JK.
Okay.
Frame.
I can't disagree with you. And
physicality.
I totally get it. I totally get it. But the question does become, what would Steph want? If this whole, if you're all in on the big three, and as you said, there's still miles on the tires, I think I could pretty easily make an argument that if we're talking about right now, Andrew Wiggins at his height is a better player than Kuminga is at this moment. Kuminga is more exciting. He's more interesting. He's more high-flying. He's more arrow up. We hope that when he becomes whatever he's going to become, he'll do it every night as opposed to 7 out of 10.
Who's more reliable?
I mean, I guess Kuminga. Kuminga's more reliable. But Andrew Wiggins does a bunch of things that you're hoping Kuminga will do. An engaged Andrew Wiggins can shoot.
You keep saying it, though. Engaged Andrew Wiggins. And you got on me yesterday for saying if Draymond behaves, if he just plays basketball, and you're like, that's a big if. So the thing with Wiggins is that's a big if.
They're all speculative. All of them. Does Wiggins engage himself and stay? Does Draymond stay on the court? Does Kuminga continue to get better? Can he shoot at some point? I think that the Kuminga conversation is rather simple. We make it more complex, and I get why. There's a lot of stuff going on there. If Kuminga, you say he's going to be a superstar?
I do.
Okay, he's got to shoot. You cannot do this. You cannot be a wing superstar in the NBA. And
he's got a nice little turnaround short-range jumper.
I'm talking about three-pointer. He's
got to shoot threes for you?
2024. You're not playing wing ball in the NBA in 2024, and you can't shoot a three.
Where you're a high flyer and you could just drive on anybody and dunk on anybody.
They're just going to sag off you. The more he gets the ball, the more they're going to sit in the paint and go, dude, shoot it. And if you want to be a superstar, you knock that shot down. And I believe he absolutely could trend in the direction of being able to do that. But he's got to do it. And right now, you got to guess as to whether or not he's going to be able to do it. And when. Because Steph only has a couple minutes left.
Just shoot 8,000 three-pointers a day and get better at it, just like free throws.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he'll do. I think this is this is a now and a then conundrum question for the Warriors. I wonder what they think. I can tell you, I don't hear veterans for the Warriors talk after the game and say about Kuminga what they say about Wiggins. Kuminga is, he's over here. He flies, he dunks. We've got him going now. Cool.
I just don't know why you can't keep him. I don't get that. I don't understand that. Help me out here.
Listen to this again from Chris Paul.
Wiggs probably gets the most junk talk to him on our team. I think it's because everybody knows what he's capable of, and we're a totally different team when he's aggressive. If you ever see us in the starting lineups before they walk on the court and dap each other up, the only thing I say to Wiggs is be aggressive. We're a totally different team because he is so good, and it unlocks everybody else on our team.
This is what every veteran says after the games. The Warriors are absolutely 100% the best version of ourselves when Wiggins is playing the role of a dog.
Yeah, on the defensive end, too.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And he and Kuminga both have that pitch. Wiggins is better at it at this moment.
So maybe one's right now, but I've never seen a player in front of my eyes improve throughout the course of a season like Kuminga has.
I agree with you.
It's years and months. He's aged in dog years as far as his improvement this year.
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting, and it would be absolutely gut-wrenching for him to not be on the team. But again,
I love watching him play. I don't love watching Wiggins play because I don't know what I'm getting from him on a nightly basis.
But you got maybe 2 years left, maybe, of Steph Curry really having that kind of an effect on a team. You maximize that how? By continuing to watch Kuminga grow, or by trying to get Andrew Wiggins to be the Wiggins that he can be? I mean, that's what they're telling me. If you listen to them, we're at our best when Wiggins is at his best. I haven't heard someone go, we're at our best when Jonathan Kuminga's at his best.
No, I get it, but it gets old as a teammate to try to motivate somebody to be aggressive on a night. You either have that or you don't. It's either in there or it isn't. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on because I'm not in the room. But if guys are... Here's my theory about things we hear as fans. If it gets all the way out to us...
Right.
All the way out to us.
That means they've exhausted them trying to do it behind the scenes.
98% of the stuff, we just don't ever get to know what goes on in the room. But if something, whether it's a fight, whether it's they're telling a guy something, if it gets all the way out to us, then it's a thing.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend over to First NorCal First Class Money Market. Today, it's also a Warriors Wednesday, brought to you by Freedman's Appliance. Trusted name since 1922. Visit freedmansappliance.com today. How about Vince in the city? Hey, Vince, you're on Willard and F.P. What's up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? About Wiggins, I love him. He plays well. We don't win the last championship without him. But the inconsistencies with his effort and his play, it makes it really hard to try to game plan and just play as a team against the opposing team. When you don't know what you're going to get, how can you plan and adjust for that? You're always wondering, what if? And then back to that CP3 post-game interview, he said, when he plays like this and he's at his best, then we're really, really good, right? We're damn near unbeatable. Well, we haven't seen JK's best because he's still young, so we don't know what his actual ceiling is. You asked if you had to pick between Wiggins or JK in the offseason. I think you get more with Kuminga because you can trade Wiggins away and get something back, and you're going to have a guy in JK who's going to give you max effort every time he steps on the floor, and he's still getting better, and he's still really good to start right now. And then the last thing was, you said a wing cannot be a superstar. So let me ask you, is DeMar DeRozan not a superstar?
I didn't say that. I didn't say. Yeah. Well, first of all, no. DeMar DeRozan is not a superstar. Absolutely not. What the hell has he ever won?
He's got the huge contract like a superstar.
Right.
They built around DeMar DeRozan in Chicago like he's a superstar.
And how's it going?
Well, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Well.
I get what you're saying, but like a lot of guys get the contract because, thank you, Vince, love hearing from you always. A lot of guys get the contract because it is to some degree speculative. And you get stuck in a spot where you're like, well, this guy puts up numbers and it's not going to make sense for us to let him go. Like Dak Prescott's probably going to get $60 million. How are they doing? They don't win in the playoffs. Well, okay, what's the other option? You want him to go with Trey Lance and miss the playoffs entirely? Like you get stuck in those spots. So sure, DeMar DeRozan, like many before him and many other current, like Trae Young in Atlanta. Is that a superstar? Not winning any basketball games. So that's just how I look at it. We can define it a bunch of different ways. But yes, it is absolutely my belief that if you want to be a star wing, if you want to look like Jason Tatum does, yeah, you got to shoot. You got to be able to shoot.
The inconsistency part bothers me, though. Like,
Which of who?
With Wiggins.
Sure. Who doesn't it bother?
As a coach and as a teammate, I want somebody that I know what I'm getting from them at the very least on a daily basis. If I bring you into a game, you're going to throw strikes. You might give up 8 runs, but you're going to throw strikes. You're not going to walk anybody. So as a manager, I know what I'm getting from you.
You knew exactly how I pitched.
As a coach, I want to know that I don't need to have to tell this guy to be aggressive every single day. And I don't want to know if I'm getting this version or that version, whatever that version is, just hypothetically. As a player and as a teammate, throughout the course of a very long season, it becomes a chore and a task and a burden for me to have to go to somebody every day and say, are you ready to be this tonight? That should be on you. So at the very least, no matter what I'm getting from a person, I want to know what I'm getting on a nightly basis, on a daily basis. If I don't know that, then that's a huge red flag for me. And I don't know if I want to hitch my wagon to that type of player, whoever that is. Now, if I know what I'm getting, and I know a guy's going to play hard, and I know he's going to make some mistakes, but I know what I'm getting every night. I'm going to get that attitude. I'm going to get that effort, because those are the only two things you can control on a daily basis consistently, your attitude and your effort. If I know what I'm getting from that person, then I'm good with that, whatever that is.
Okay, so I fully agree with you, but here's the thing. What you're saying right now exists on an even playing field, but I don't think that's where the Warriors are sitting. In other words, if we just removed all other side information and went, okay, it's 2024. Going forward, you want Wiggins or Kuminga?
I want Wiggins for the last 7 games playing like he's playing.
Right.
But and then I want Kuminga long-term
there
after
you go.
that.
The answer is obviously Kuminga. The problem is we're not on an even playing field. We are talking about the remainder of Steph Curry's career, which is limited, and the clock is beyond ticking. So therefore, it makes it a little bit more of an intricate question. Wanting Kuminga, but thinking truly probably not going to be at the height of his powers during Steph's remaining career. Wiggins, however, will frustrate you by not being consistent. However, you know that when he is good, he is championship ready. He has got chemistry with this current team.
You said if.
Snap, ready to go. Well, everything's an if.
Yeah, I guess.
It's all an if. Right? And so that's why it is a difficult question to answer, because let's also throw in at the end of that point, it's possible that portions of Wiggins' inconsistency could be because of the presence of Kuminga.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
I don't think I buy it either, but it's getting damn intriguing that he's stringing his best games together while Kuminga's out.
So I'm going to try to explain this the best I can on radio, because it's going to be bad radio.
Let's roll.
If Wiggins was a stock, it's like this. It's
Yes,
up one
up
day,
and down.
down one day, up one day. It's zigzaggy.
YouTube gets it. They're
If
looking at your hand.
Kuminga's a stock, in the last 2 months, it's going through the roof.
Totally.
And he's 21 and one guy's 29.
Right. But
You're talking for Steph's window. Kuminga's going to be there for Steph's window.
But why?
Wiggins may or may not be there based on, is he going to be in shape? Is he going to play hard? Do I got to tell him to be aggressive?
I don't know.
I'll take the 21-year-old with all the tools in the world if I have 2 years left on my career or 3 years left on my career. That's going to be there every single night.
Is he?
And is only getting better.
But he's only getting better. But is it good enough?
This is just my personal preference. I want the 21-year-old with the tremendous upside that's going to run up and down the court like a crazy man every single night versus a guy that decides when he wants to be aggressive and when he doesn't.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Let me adjust it to.
But for the last, let me interrupt real quick. But for this last little bit, I'll take Wiggins all day.
There you go. Well, that's kind of in a larger sense what we're talking about. Like, that's what we're talking about. Why are you buying the stock that you're buying? Do you need to make money overnight, or are you saving? Are you saving for college in 20 years?
This isn't a mutual fund.
No, there you go. So, like, take it to the Giants. All right. What if they end up in the playoffs this year? What if they end up in the playoffs? So let's say just this year only, you get one left-handed pitcher. You want Snell or do you want Harrison?
For this year?
This year.
Well, his dad's coming on. I got to, come on. This isn't a fair question. He's probably listening.
Well,
for this year, I got to have the guy with resume and 2 Cy Youngs.
Well, that's exactly.
I have to.
But that's
Kyle could win 3. I don't know.
But that's what we're talking about. There's no question that if I said, who do you want for the next 10 years, it's Kyle Harrison. No question.
That's a leading question, Your Honor.
What do you want right now? What do you want right now? There is some of that in the Wiggins-Kuminga debate.
I agree.
It's tough.
Right now, I'm talking about the next week or 2 weeks or month or month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is.
God, I wish I was going to be here on Friday. If they go out there tomorrow night and Kuminga's back and Wiggins scores 6 points, I got questions.